Good evening. Good evening. I call this meeting of the Littleton Licensing Authority to order on November 11th, 2020. Clerk, roll call, please.
Chair Levere,
Present.
Vice Chair Buchanan,
Here.
Authority Member Amon,
Present.
Authority Member Fallenweider,
Here.
Authority Member Ravindran,
Here.
Authority Member Peters is absent this evening. We do have a quorum.
Colleen, do you have any part of the script you're going to read at this point, or shall we continue?
I do. I'm sorry, I was messaging with our technical director. Give me just one moment.
No problem.
Good evening, authority members, staff, citizens, and guests. I'm Colleen Norton, City Clerk, and I'll be serving as the moderator for this evening's virtual meeting of the Littleton Licensing Authority. We are streaming this meeting on Cable Channel 8, Facebook, and on our website, littletongov.org. The agenda will be handled by the chair in the same way it would be handled for a regular in-person meeting. As always, citizen participation is encouraged during public comment and any public hearing. To participate via phone, please call 669-900-6833, and when prompted, enter the webinar ID 961-2876-7792. There will be two opportunities for public participation this evening, once during public comment and again during our scheduled public hearing. Microphones will be muted for all citizens calling in. Citizens can press *9 to raise their hand to be recognized. Once recognized, speakers will have 3 minutes to address the authority. The city clerk will announce when you have 30 seconds remaining, and again when your time is up. We expect comments to be civil. Disrespectful or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. For agenda items, the chair will ask for a motion and a second, followed by discussion and a vote. Votes on agenda items will be made using a thumbs up for a yes vote and a thumbs down for a no. The clerk will call each vote with all ayes and nays.
Great. Our next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Are any changes to the agenda from authority members? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. We have minutes to approve. Are there any changes to the minutes from the March 11th? Okay. Call for a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move that we approve the October 14th regular meeting minutes.
Sorry, October 14th, yes. I will second that.
Thumbs up for a yes, please. Thumbs down for a no. The vote is 5 in favor. The motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is the public comment portion.
If you wish to address the licensing authority under public comment, please call 669-900-6833, and when prompted, enter the webinar ID 961-2876-7792. Then press *9 to be recognized. Citizen microphones will be automatically muted until the citizen is called upon to speak by the last 3 digits of their phone number. When called on to speak, please state your name and district or address clearly for the record. Public comment is an opportunity to express opinions or ask questions regarding issues that are not part of the public hearing on tonight's agenda. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The clerk will notify you when you have 30 seconds remaining, and again when your time is up. The licensing authority is not authorized by the Colorado Open Meetings Law to discuss, comment, or take action at the meeting on any issue raised by public comment that is not part of tonight's agenda. We do expect comments to be civil. Disrespectful or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. Chair, we currently have no callers in the queue.
Okay. I think as with last time, I will check in with you again after the public hearing.
Okay.
But seeing none, we will move on for now. Our first item on the agenda tonight is agenda item 6A, Littleton Licensing Authority Resolution 04-2020, approving a liquor license application for Thai Monkey Club LLC, doing business as Beyond Thai, located at 2630 West Bellevue Avenue, Unit 150. The applicant is here, I see, and can come off mute at this time.
Kong,
Kong, if you want to unmute, we're at the portion of the meeting where you are able to present your information, your application.
there you go.
Hi,
Hi, Kong.
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, we just unmute.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
go
Perfect.
ahead and,
Okay, we
Go
can
ahead.
hear everyone now.
yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, start with me. My name is Joy. The real name is Sirichom Hakamchan, and we've been in Thai restaurant business for over 10 years. This one is the seventh one that we opened. We start from August 13, 2011. In Denver, 3 locations, in Golden, in Louisville, and Lakewood. So this one, Littleton, the 7th one, and Kong.
Yes, my name is Kong Palm. And just like Joy said, we've been in restaurant business for over 10 years.
10, about 10, no?
Yeah, about 10 years or so. And each restaurant that we have, we apply for liquor license, and we are serving alcohol in all the locations for the past 10 years. So we both have experience, and we both have tip trainings. So any employee that we hire,
Okay.
that will require that also.
Okay.
Great. Colin, for any of those locations, have you had a liquor license violation in the past?
No,
None.
none
None of
for
them.
other location.
And am I correct in my identification? This location is off of Bellevue in is it the Bellevue Promenade, or is it, it's over where the Jack and Grill was by the Freddy's?
Where?
Yes, they're
Yeah.
actually across from the Pint Room on the back side of what Jack and Grill was.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we're in the same building as the Toast.
That's right, they moved. And I see you had some petition signatures signed, but primarily from patrons entering your establishment. Due to COVID restrictions, you weren't able to petition out in the neighborhood for the liquor license to show needs and desires. Is that right?
Yes, normally we will get them. I'm not sure if I heard the question right, but normally we will gather more signature from the neighbor, from resident, from business.
To hear the
But due to COVID, we are very limited, going to the residents and business. So we have to be very careful going to that.
I knocked the doors because some houses, behind here, they private owned and they don't let me go in. But then I went to the other one behind the golf course right here. There's a lot of apartment buildings, and they let me do it. So I knocked on the doors, on the one that I see the doors open or people in it, but they don't come out. If I can hear the question correctly, okay, because I didn't hear that well. But yeah, the one that we say I knock the door, they don't open. It's been like I don't say they refuse, but I just count the doors. They're at home, but they just don't come out. They see me, but they don't, answer the door. And I get a lot of people that they walking in the parking lot, and a lot of them like walk dogs, and a lot of them older people, but they want to support the business. You can see some of them like 91, 84, or a lot of people that I catch them, they were walking dog. They're like 50 something and older. A lot of retirees back here. So, did I answer it right? I kind of didn't hear it very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think we were looking for an explanation of your petition process,
Oh,
given the restrictions of social
COVID.
distancing and such.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of them I had to hold the dog leash because they are signing paper. And some of them I have to play with the dogs. And I am allergic to cats and dogs. I got all the dogs all over me. I'm like, I did anything to get them signed.
And we have a lot of people on this Platte River here on the side. So a lot of them go by walkings, trying to catch people that live in the area. So we do catch a few. Um, I would say almost everyone that we talk to, they are in the favor of having a liquor license. They are supporting Beyond Thai. Most of them are happy that we come to open a Thai restaurant in this location. They say there's not many of them. A lot of them are fast food, and they were happy that have variety of options.
Yeah.
The license you're applying for is what is the primary alcohol that you're going to serve in your establishment?
What, Elena?
We apply for H&R hotel and restaurant. Mainly, we are serving
Beer and wine.
beer and wine.
And here the menu, only 5 different kind of beers and 6 items of 3 item white wine and 3 red wines and 6 cocktails items. Very easy one. Screwdriver, sea breeze. Anything not so complicated, yeah, in general. And the beer, only 5 different beers. That's it, yeah.
Right.
Very simple.
And you mentioned that you have training for your staff regarding liquor rules. What's the training that you do? Is it a standard training or is it just an in-house one?
Back in 2011, when we first get the liquor license, we had people come in to give us the tip training, and we paid for them. Yeah, and then after that, we train in-house. And Laura, the one that she's server here, she's been bartender, and she had tip training certificate. And she worked with me since 2014. So she's know my business. She know how we do things, and she know what to look for to serve alcohol. Yeah.
How often do you hold the trainings? Is it when they get hired? Is it every 6 months? How often are you doing trainings around alcohol serving?
In the past, a lot of time just when they come in, and then after that, 3 months again. 3 months, right. Every 3 months, yeah. And every people that comes in, I train them at beginning. I'm the one that give them training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have alcohol. You said again, you have 7 or 6 other locations, and you serve alcohol in all those 6 locations that you have, and never have had a violation in any of those.
No, not even once. No, in the last 10 years.
Okay. Thank you. By the way, it's a heck of a time to open a restaurant.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Obviously, it must be very difficult, but you can't have enough Thai restaurants, in my opinion. I'm not buying it. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Other questions from the authority?
Yeah, tell him to wait. He can wait. I have meeting, very important.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries. All right, thank you for that. At this time, I think this is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing at 6:47. Colleen, are there anyone on the line that wants to speak in favor or in opposition to this liquor license application?
Chair, there is nobody on the line.
Okay. Excellent. All right. And at 6:47 and a half, I will close the public hearing. At this time, I would entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion. I move that a resolution of the Littleton Licensing Authority be approved, which grants Thai Monkey Club LLC, DBA Beyond Thai, 2630 West Bellevue Avenue, Unit 150, Littleton, Colorado, a hotel and restaurant liquor license contingent upon approval by the Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division and based upon the following findings of fact. 1, that notice of the hearing was properly posted and published. 2, that the applicant has possession of the premises and the premises are suitable for the requested license. 3, that the needs of the neighborhood are not now being met. 4, that it is the desire of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood that the license be issued. 5, that existing similar liquor licenses in the designated neighborhood are not adequate. And 6, that the applicant is of good moral character, record, and reputation.
Second.
We have a motion for approval. We have a second. Is there any discussion amongst the authority? I'm pretty supportive of this application. The background checks conducted by LPD did not return any derogatory information. There's a lot of challenges surrounding the current pandemic, but I'm generally in favor of restaurants being able to offer drinks with their menu items. So it's pretty easy for me. Any other discussion or thoughts?
I mean, I think the petitioning obviously isn't the best, but it's a difficult time to do the petition. But there have been liquor licenses in that location in the past, I believe, without problem. So I think that is something important to take into account.
And these applicants are experienced operators of other similar restaurants that have liquor licenses without any issues in the past, and they seem to be cognizant of the training that's useful for serving alcohol in similar circumstances.
Great. We'll close discussion and have the clerk take call the vote.
Thumbs up for a yes, thumbs down for a no. The vote is 5 in favor. The motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kong and Joy, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, everyone.
Yay.
Thank you.
Have a great
Good
night.
luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. We leave now.
And then that closes agenda item 6. Just going back to Colleen, I don't know that there's anyone on the line at all.
No, sir.
No one's watching us.
Nobody's watching.
It's
My
very
in-laws
accessible.
are watching.
Your in-laws are watching.
Hi, Jyothi's in-laws.
Okay, let's see. I guess it takes us to item number 7, reports from staff.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base real quick to give the authority a reminder that we're at that time of year where we're looking at vacancies on our authorities, boards, and commissions. We're looking at terms that are coming up in 2021. And so for this board, we will have one full vacancy to complete Pete Webb's term since he resigned. And then Vice Chair Buchanan, you are finishing your second term. You're up for reappointment if you so choose. Um, and so is Authority Member Peters. The application for that will go live on our website on or after December 1st. We would hope you plan on reapplying and coming back and joining us for your third term, Mike. No pressure.
Oh, no, I'm planning on it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. So I just wanted to have you be mindful of that. And if you know anybody who may want to serve on a board or commission, let them know that those postings will go up that first week of December. And we will have vacancies on almost every single board. So if you have friends and family in the city that, want to get involved, now's that time of year to do that. And then I just wanted to touch base really quick on retail marijuana in the city. I'm sure you're all aware that ballot question passed with over 60% voting in favor for that. This was taken to council last night at a study session to get some direction on where they wanted to see the administrative piece go for that, the rules, on how we're going to administer that. And right now the direction is to really kind of adhere to the spirit of the question as it was, should the existing 3 licensees be allowed on and after January 1st. And so the attorney's office, zoning, and myself are working on an ordinance, actually on 2 ordinances to go before council next week on first reading to amend our code as it pertains to medical marijuana and as it pertains to retail marijuana. So at this time, the 3 existing would be able to either convert or to run a dual store if they have the square footage to do that. Currently, only 2 of our licensees have the square footage to run a dual store. The third one would either stay medical or would convert. So that's where we are right now. We're working on getting through that process, and then we would have them apply for their retail store, but because they're already existing license holders who within the last year have gone through a public hearing process in some way or another, either with us or with the state, we would handle those applications administratively this time.
Okay. We have capacity within Littleton for a 4th location.
Correct.
Has there been any interest, or are you aware of any applications out there that might be coming?
There aren't any applications. We've had quite a few people interested in that, I think in anticipation of the retail question. However, at this time, even if someone were to apply for that 4th license, it would not be considered for a retail location. Council is just focusing on the 3 that are currently licensed. That 4th license has been available since September of 2018.
Yeah.
So, and part of the problem is with our buffer zones in the city, there really isn't a lot of places, there aren't a lot of places in the city where a 4th location could go. And most of those locations where one would work, we have property owners that aren't going to rent to someone with a marijuana-based business. And that's their prerogative.
Sure.
So I have had phone calls for the last several weeks, and a lot on Wednesday, I'll tell you, the day after the election. But now with this new direction from council, I don't know that we'll see that 4th store realized anytime soon.
Okay. All right. Keep us updated on the developments. We're obviously very interested in how that goes.
Absolutely.
Do we know from experience talking to other jurisdictions if retail locations tend to have more compliance issues, or if they're pretty much comparable to the medical side?
I think it depends on the jurisdiction. I think when you get into bigger cities, just, geographics and demographics, you're going to have more issues with them. in our smaller neighboring cities. I have not had any feedback that they've had any noticed increase in issues. These store owners go through a lot of vetting for their establishments. And there's a lot riding on it. So most of them are playing by the rules and doing what they need to do.
Great. Okay. Any reports or questions from the authority members?
Colleen, I thought I was up too. Are you this year?
No, I don't think you are, Tobin. Let me
Okay.
pull up my spreadsheet real quick. You're not up till 2022.
Oh, cool.
You were appointed in 2019.
All right. Awesome.
I have a question about the to-go on liquor. Are they
Mhm.
still doing that in Littleton?
They are. It has to be with food sales. It can't be just liquor to go.
Okay.
And the state just put out new guidelines on what is an acceptable container for liquor to go. There are a lot of requirements about what it can be, what it can't be. It's got to be sealed either with tape or labels in
Yeah,
a way that you can't,
consume in the car.
it's not New Orleans. You can't, have your hurricane whilst you're walking down the street. It's not a drive-through liquor store in Texas.
Did it change from did the food requirement, is that a new requirement?
No, it's always been with food.
Okay.
It's
Even
always
for
been-
establishments that don't serve food.
establishments who don't serve food technically can't do alcohol to go.
Okay.
A liquor store can with a delivery permit, but they can't, like, mixed drinks to go. If you don't have a food component, legally you can't be doing that.
Okay.
And there are limitations on the number of drinks to go. It has to be kind of comparable to the amount of food that you've ordered. If you've gone in and ordered one appetizer and 4 margaritas, that's not supposed to happen. But yeah, the state did continue that.
Okay. And do you know if there's a termination date for that continuation?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Everything's kind of open-ended. The governor's trying real hard not to shut things down. And so this is kind of one of those things. It's kind of a lifeline for most of our restaurants and stuff. The only thing that's changed with the new level that we've gone to effective 5 p.m. today is that what the state considers a bar. So that would generally be a tavern license that operates like a bar. But the problem is we have establishments downtown that have a tavern license that operate like restaurants. Like if you think of the View House and then you think of the tavern, they have the same business model. They have 2 different license types. And so
Oh.
it really does come down to the food component. Yeah.
What do you mean the food component is what's
So-
driving the?
So somebody who's operating what would be considered a bar, which is someplace you would go primarily to get a cocktail, their food requirement is snacks, what the state calls snacks and sandwiches, chips, pretzels, peanuts, a microwave hot pocket, something like that, right? Not really substantive, not something that you would consider a meal unless you're a college kid. But like a normal person wouldn't consider that a meal. When you're talking about that food component, you're talking about things that would constitute a meal that somebody would normally consider their lunch, their dinner, that kind of thing. Not just kind of that appetizer piece.
So, but the View House and the tavern have 2 different licenses?
They do. So
But their menus are almost identical.
So the tavern actually operates under a hotel and restaurant license. The View House currently operates under a tavern license, but if you'll remember, we approved them several months ago for a brew pub license.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't finished all of their stuff yet, but they'll be converting. But I don't know that other than brewing on site, you won't see a whole lot of difference in how they operate. It's
Okay.
full meals and all of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So when the state first back in March, April, May, when they were starting to think about trying to open things back up. And in June, and they were saying no bars, no tavern licenses, clerks from across the state, kind of myself included, were on the phone to liquor enforcement saying, wait a minute, I have a business in town that has a tavern license, but they have full meals, they don't meet that requirement. So we technically only have one real bar downtown, which is Ned Kelly's, but they have partnered with other local businesses to help them provide substantial meals so they can stay open. So, because that's our great little downtown, they're all helping each other out. Any other questions?
So it's a bit function over form, right? It's how they operate, not their
Correct.
license. Okay.
Correct. And when people decide on the type of license they're going to apply for, a lot of times it really has more to do with, that business model. And a tavern license is easier. They have a lower threshold for food. They don't have a percentage of food to alcohol, things like that. So it's a perceived lower liability maybe. But yeah, the state kind of had to get out of that mindset that just because they have a specific license type doesn't mean that that's how they're functioning.
And do we have, oh, I'm so sorry.
How do we confirm in normal times that percentage? Is that done automatically with state? Do they make an affidavit or file reports monthly or quarterly with the state to say, yes?
A lot of times we judge that based off of sales tax and reports and things like that, that they're like for a restaurant, 25% has to be food. So you can be guaranteed that if you're walking into an H&R, they can make that 25% in the first couple months of the year. And the rest of the time they could be selling alcohol. Yeah.
Is that what it is by annually?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I recollect that when I was in Englewood, we used to see the renewals. They just attest to it on the form.
Yeah.
And I remember we would see ones that were like 25%, right? They would just put
like
in the
right on the nose.
Yeah, like they're right on,
Yeah.
it was just a self-attestation. So
Yeah.
we didn't really look into it any more than that.
Did we get any feedback on weekends on Main?
There has been feedback on weekends on Main. As a matter of fact, the city manager sent out a little thing last week about it. And I think that they're going to be putting something in the Littleton Independent about it. We did have some really great feedback. We had some people that loved when everything was very uniform and pretty and all of that. And then we had others that loved when the Historic Downtown Littleton Merchants Associations kind of ran it for 3 weeks. And it was a little more eclectic and funky and everybody kind of had their own setup. And, by and large, it was a successful event. Definitely got people into downtown that might have stayed away during this time, and definitely brought some people back into establishments that otherwise wouldn't have been there. So yeah, we've had great feedback from our licensees downtown.
Any chance they're going to turn downtown Main Street into a pedestrian mall?
I doubt that.
I would like it.
I would vote for that.
Yeah, traffic
Yeah.
Could you imagine the traffic? What would happen?
I could redesign the traffic right now. I could do it.
So
Okay.
I assume that this winter we may see increased stress on our restaurants and bars downtown. Obviously, they've known this is coming, but any insight right now? I mean, I guess it's too early, but
not right now. Excuse me. I know some of them are already trying to take steps to think about how they can somewhat winterize some of their outdoor space.
Mhm.
And I know that there are some companies in Denver that are kind of assisting, and the Restaurant Association is involved in working with restaurants to that end as well. So, you know, our downtown restaurants are a little bit limited just because we don't have the real estate in general for most of them to be putting up tents and things like that that would block sidewalks and traffic and things. So, but you know, we've had some that have pivoted really well to takeout and delivery. You know, we had a couple that really didn't that were reported to me that they really didn't see a dip in revenue by not having in-house seating. So
yeah,
they're getting creative.
Well, I wish them all very much well wishes, good luck. And if there's anything we can do, please let us know.
Absolutely.
If they're watching.
Absolutely. I try to reach out to random ones a couple times a week just to check in. So anything else?
Anything coming up next month, you think?
Not at this time.
Okay.
They're depending on council's further direction with the retail marijuana applications, even though we're going to do them administratively. Those may come before you just as a review, but there wouldn't be any hearing included with that. So, but I won't have that direction for a couple of weeks, so I'll let you know.
Okay. With that, if there's nothing else, last chance. We are adjourned.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.